Alaikum. Get all my gadgets ready. In the name of Allah, the Beneficent and Merciful, I bear witness that there is no God but Allah, and I bear witness that He appeared among us in the personage of Master Farad Muhammad, the great Mahdi. I further bear witness that He raised the eternal leader of the nation of Islam, and the most honorable Elijah Muhammad, and the two of them left a divine reminder in our midst in the hard-working Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. It is in their name and in their spirit that I greet. I believe in family, visitors and guests, and the greeting words of peace. We say it in our original language of Assalamu Alaikum. How's everyone feeling today? Feeling fine as well. I know everyone's ready for that spring weather. It went back on us a little bit. It's kind of chilly this morning, but we're going to be all right. How was Friday night study group? Was all right? Was all right? Y'all learned something? All praise is due to Allah. For those who attended, we got to get back to our Friday night study group, family. We're talking about some very important things. And for those who don't know, who are visitors and guests every Friday, we study community development. You know, improvement of ourselves, the basis for community development every Friday night. So make sure that you're here at 7:30 so you can participate. Because it's a circle where you can talk back and ask questions and things of that nature, so you can dive deeper into how we think, how we move, what motivates us. All right. So that's Friday night study group. All right, family. So today we're going to get into a subject which is entitled the Muslim program. The Muslim program. I won't be able to hit all of the points because I only keep you up here for 45 minutes. But what you can do, as we continue to go through this in the back of every Final Call newspaper, y'all do read the Final Call newspaper, right? So you don't have to ask yourself, especially visitors and guests, what do the Muslims believe? What do the Muslims want? What makes them a Muslim? Are they a church? Are they just like the church? You know what I'm saying? And you open up the back of the newspaper and you see exactly what the Muslims want and what the Muslims believe. Yes, all right? There is no mystery to what we want and what we believe. But I'm going to break down 2 points. 1 point from what the Muslims want and 1 point from what the Muslims believe. And then we're going to get out of here, all right? Yes, sir. And we're also going to have a quiz to take before you leave. So make sure you pay attention. Make sure you have your pen and pad ready because this is a classroom, all right? I'm not a preacher like that. This is a classroom. So this is one where if you got questions, then you need to ask before you leave the building today. Don't leave not asking a question, all right? Y'all with me?
Yes, sir.
All right. So before we begin, if you hadn't had a chance to read or see the latest edition of the Final Call newspaper, this is what it looks like. Inside of the middle paragraph where the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan speaks on page 20, it says, "Justice is the joy of freedom." Justice is the joy of freedom. Make sure that we take out time to read this. Now, the cover story is called Mounting Pressure. And you see all the signs of their Palestine, let Gaza be free. It says global condemnation of Israel and the U.S. increases as voices cry out to stop the assault and destruction of the Palestinians in Gaza amid an escalating humanitarian crisis and expanding the war. See page 3. Make sure that we read these articles and keep up what's going on. Because as the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan has told us and continues to teach us, is what we see going on overseas will soon be at our doorstep. And that's not a slogan. Right. That's what it is. Right. How many of y'all seen the movie Terminator? Okay. It used to be in the movie Terminator, everything was cool. And then at some point, they built a machine. Right? Skynet, right? Then the machines took over. But the machines were programmed by a diabolical mind. It was a human that programmed the machines. Right. For population control. Let's keep going. How many of you got this book on your shelf? How many of you ever seen this book before? Message to the Black Man, all right? Message to the Black Man. This illuminating book is the book that fished me into the nation. So I take this book kind of serious. You know, when I didn't know anything about God or religion or anything like that, I walked into a bookstore and I picked up Message to the Black Man. And the first chapter is Who is That Mystery God? And it started answering all the questions that I had ever since a youth. I wasn't one that went to church or anything like that on a religious basis. But when I read this book, everything started to make sense. So I implore you to do the same. If you got questions about yourself, questions about life, why do we even come on a Sunday? Any of those questions that you have, open up Message to the Black Man. All right. And it's also a message to the black woman. It's not a sexist book. All right. But unfortunately, if you don't have a strong man, it's hard to have a defender in the house. It's hard to have a leader in the house. It's hard to have someone who can motivate you and help you as we go through this thing called life, right? So you want to read this book, Message to the Black Man, so you can see how Mr. Muhammad is standing up the black man and woman all over the world through this book. All right, let's begin. Y'all all right? Yes, sir. Y'all not sleepy, are y'all? No, sir. I know we on the edge of Ramadan. We already walking week? The fast begins tonight, right? Well, today is the last day. Yeah. Right, so make sure you get whatever you're trying to get in tonight. And let's get our reading in, all right? And let's make this a beautiful, vainglorious Ramadan, all right? For those who don't know, the Muslims, we all across the world, we fast for 30 days and we read the Holy Quran. It's broken up into sections or jewels, what they call them, all right, or parts. And so we read a part every day until we get through it, and we try to pick up our prayers. You know, this is a good time if we're trying to lose a little weight. It helps us with that, everything, you know. So this is a good time for the Muslims, all right? All right, so in the Bible, let's begin our subject today, which is the Muslim program. In 1 Thessalonians 4, verses 15 through 16, it reads, "For this we say unto you for the word of the Lord, that we which are alive and remain until the coming of the Lord shall not prevent them which are asleep." So just in that first sentence, the Lord is coming from somewhere. Y'all understand that part, right? And when he comes, there are going to be some people who are asleep. All right? But the question you should ask is, what put them to sleep? And why is God hiding and he has to come out to let the world know or be viewed by the people so he can address the reason why the people are asleep? All right? "For the Lord himself shall descend from heaven with a shout." Now, in the Bible, when they say heaven, they're just talking about the sky. All right? I don't want you to get spooky on us. All right? This ain't like, what was the movie I was looking at? Wakanda, where the brother was flying because he had wings on his feet. Right. We're not talking about that type of flying or descending. All right? We're not a spooky believing type people. Right. Everything we talk about is actual fact, rooted in science and physics. All right? Right. All right. So the Lord himself. So we should be expecting a visitation from God, coming himself. All right? "Shall descend from heaven with a shout, with the voice of an angel." So if he has a voice, he has to be a human. Is that right? Yes, sir. And if you can hear the voice, that means that it has to travel across what we call the atmosphere, where it has neutrons and protons, water. Moisture is the only reason you can hear me today. Because if you go into outer space, you can't hear each other because there's no water out there. You understand? Yes, so God is evidently inside of this sphere that we call the earth. Y'all with me? Now follow me. Okay. So you're going to hear the voice of the archangel and with the trump from God, and the dead in Christ shall rise. Now, the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad teaches us that this here is not talking about the physical dead, because they're not going to come back up from the ground. It never has happened in history. You understand? No. Y'all hear me? No, sir. No. Never. No. Has anybody that went into that ground come back up? In the book of Job, it says when you go into the ground, don't expect them to come back up out the ground. So what is this talking about? The dead in Christ rise first. Well, the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad teaches that. He's talking about the mentally dead. Right. The ones who have been put to sleep. Right. You understand? What have they been put to sleep about? About the knowledge of themselves, about God and the human family. You understand? Just in that root, and then from there, everything else branches off. All right. So today, the first point that we're going to attack in the Muslim program is we want freedom. We want a full and complete freedom. We've never experienced that. None of us have. When we were born onto planet Earth, the systems were already here. The governments were already set up. We had to go back and do the research to see why we are in the condition that we're in, right? That's right. So we want a full and complete freedom, like the birds, like the ants, like the flea. You understand? A full and complete freedom. Let's look at this. The Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad has taught us that the first and our foreparents were brought to the shores of America in the year what? 1555. So according to this book, Slaves and Englishmen, Human Bondage in the Early Modern Atlantic World by Michael Grusko on page 67. He says an expedition under the command of John Locke reportedly returned to England with the certain black slaves, right? In 1555. But when you go learn it in school, they're saying it's what? 1619. So what happened between 1555 and 1619? That's a question that you got to ask yourself. All right? Because something happened between 1555 and 1619. All right? That turned us into a slave. All right? For a human chattel slave, right? We ain't talking about what they call servitude, indigenous service. We're not talking about indigenous service. We're talking about chattel slavery.
Right.
Well, you have no rights. None. So when they auctioning you off, they saying, oh, he can carry the tea, or he can cook, or she can sew, or he can build, carry big burls of hay. This is how they sold us. You understand? All right. This is the beginning of this type of system that they use today. All right, let's keep going. You all right? So in a chapter of Message to the Black Man entitled Accept Your Own, the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad said, proof has been offered in the name of the present heavyweight champion of the world. Who is he talking about at this time? Muhammad Ali, right? Yes. He said, Muhammad Ali is a divine name. Both Muhammad and Ali are names of God or Allah. Quickly, the nations of his kind held out their hands and called to him. Christian black preachers have never been so recognized because of their ignorance in holding the name and religion of their slave master. So how did we get the name? Why was it so important that when they chained us up, because this is part of taking away our freedom, right? That they gave us their last name, right? Because the last name is who you belong to. Is that right? So we're walking around today in the 21st century carrying their name still, which are bonded in whatever area that slave master bonded his name in, whatever city that it's in. So all of you researchers that say, like when you're born, you get a birth certificate and we already come in and we got debt. Yeah, you can talk all that you want to, but you still carry his name, showing that you still are part of that bond. Come on. Y'all follow me?
Yes, sir.
All right. We got to be free. We want a free and complete freedom, right? Yes, is that right?
That's right.
All right. So if you recognize today in his name, then you are still his slave. I don't want to ask you to pull out your driver's license because it may surprise some of us. But that's how real it gets. Because when you go in front of that judge and you got a holy name, it's a total different look upon you. When you can stand on your own and they see that you're going to stand on your own and you still nice and pleasant and respectful and you showing, the attributes of a Muslim, that's what they want to see. That's what they want to know. Do you know who you are? Because when you know who you are, then they're going to treat you different because you're going to come at them different. You're not that Negro that they made. All right? Accept your own and be yourself. Is that right? So in Time magazine, how did Washington become the blackest name in America? We want a complete freedom, right? It's going to start with your name. You got to have enough kahunas to make that happen. All right? George Washington's name is inseparable from America. And not only from the nation's history, it identifies countless streets, buildings, mountains, bridges, monuments, cities, and people. In a puzzling twist, most of these people are what? Black. The 2000 U.S. Census counted 196,036 people with the surname Washington, which is 90% of them were African American. A far higher black percentage than any other common name. I want you to think about that. How many Washingtons you know? Yeah. That's their daddy. That's the beginning of it right there. Him right there. George Washington. Y'all knew that though, right? Yes, sir. What you think the next one is probably going to be? Johnson, right? Or Jackson, right? These are all presidents that own slaves. And you'll go to battle with somebody in the 21st century, be like, man, I'm a Washington, bro. What you talking about? We handle our business. And don't even know what you're talking about. Come on, bro. Go ahead. You understand? Yes, sir. Because this, you got to go to the root of this if we're going to be free and justified and made equal. Ain't that what this flag represents? Yes, it means that we are free, that's right, justified, and made equal to all mankind. Right. Is that right? But mankind had chained us up. Mankind had took away our names and gave us their name. Yes, sir. Kind of a name. Mankind, right? So the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan talks about freedom on page 206 of Closing the Gap. He says, but freedom is not license. Freedom has to be within the sphere of a law that regulates the behavior of the creature so that it does not destroy the life that it has been given. So there is no love without freedom, and there is no freedom without love that restricts us from that which is destructive of our being and that would disallow us to justify our existence, thus making us equal to all things in creation. So love is life and life is love. There is no life without freedom, justice, and equality. And there is no love without the same. So people always talk about, man, you ain't treating me right. You know what I'm saying? I don't feel no love. You know what I'm saying? So if you don't feel love, then how you going to inspire and motivate somebody if you're not exuding love first? Come on. You understand? Come on, brother. We all love our mama. Our mama whooped our backside. Our mama got on us. Right. Do you love your mama? Absolutely. Absolutely, right? Yes, because she showed you love. But what about a brother that you just met or a sister that you just met? You understand what I'm saying? You in an organization or you in a job and they're above you, but they ain't showing you no love, but they just want to give you orders. Come on, how's that relationship going to grow? It's not going to grow. Right. It's going to start out with a resentment. Right? Because there is no love. Right. So how can we be free? Right? So the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan said that freedom has to be within the sphere of a law that regulates the behavior of the creature so that it does not destroy the life that it has been given. Right? So we have a restrictive law of Islam that you come up under in the Nation of Islam. Yes, sir. And in the restrictive laws are something that we all could follow. It's very easy to follow. Don't smoke, don't drink, don't womanize, don't backbite, don't slander, don't gossip. I'm just naming the ones that we really see in our community. Right. You know what I'm saying? If you can get past them, you good on the rest. Right. For real. You real good on the rest, right? If you don't backbite and slander, how are your relationships with your compadres going to be? It's going to be kosher. You know what I'm saying? It's going to be good, right? If you don't smoke, don't drink, how's your body going to feel? You understand? If you don't fornicate, commit adultery, how are your relationships going to be? You understand? So everything within this law that regulates the behavior of the creature is good for you, right? So the Holy Quran backs this up by saying what? Allah enjoins good on the believer. That's right. That's right. Is that right? That's right. So when Master Farad Muhammad came, who we say Allah appeared in a person, he gave us this restrictive law to control our behaviors because our open enemy rewarded us with liquor, drink, smoke, whatever. So we was already in that type of habit, this habitual habit of destroying our life before an intervention happened. You understand? Yes, sir. It was already going on. If we were stressed out, we went to the wine bottle. All right? Or we rolled up the stinky weed. Or we smoked the tobacco. You understand? I'm using the language that the messenger used. You know, he called it stinky weed. I ain't that old, but that's what he called it. You know what I'm saying? But we know the chronic, the green, whatever. You know what I'm saying? The excuse that we use is that we stressed out, right? And the only reason we stressed out is because we can't overcome those impediments. We can't think past that because we've never been taught how. Or we haven't seen the type of relationship that works through difficulties. You understand? We have been a broken and destroyed people. And from those chain of events that happened to us, the open enemy has taken this system all over the world and done it to everybody else. Maybe not as harsh as they've done it to us, but the same system is being proselytized all over the world. Yes, sir. And has been proven by what they've done to us. All right. So when Master Farad Muhammad shows up, he comes to reverse this process. All right. Clean us up so we can understand what it really feels like to be what? Free, justified, and made equal. Because we want a complete freedom. Is that right? Yes, sir. All right. All right. Let's look at this. Okay, we're making pretty good time. Let's look at this. Now, I ain't gonna keep you too long now. I can't put too much in you. I want you to remember this stuff. Right. Go ahead. In Isaiah 61:1, it reads, "The Spirit of the Lord God is upon me, because the Lord has anointed me to bring good news to the poor. He has sent me to bind up the brokenhearted, to proclaim liberty to the captives, and the opening of the prison to those who are bound." We want a complete freedom. Right. How many of us got kinfolk in jail? They just making bad choices, right? You drop your children off at school, what you just say? Make good choices today, man. Make good choices, sis. Come on. I don't want to hear nothing from the teacher today, man, because you can't follow the rules. Right. You know what I'm saying? Because that's what it's really all about. Right. You can't follow the rules. If you follow the rules, you stay under the radar, bro. You know what I'm saying? You can operate and won't nobody even know it's you. But if you keep breaking the rules, then as soon as you come in, that flashlight is on you, bro. Right. No matter what you do. And then they're going to call me and you're going to be like, but I didn't do it, but you've been doing it. That's the problem. So now they can lie on you for real, and the lie becomes believable. Because you ain't been cool. You know what I'm saying? Right. So it says, the Spirit of the Lord God is upon me. It's upon you, right? Because the Lord has anointed me to bring good news. We have to bring good news to our people. You got to bring good news. We can't harper on the negative side. We are taught in the nation to settle on the best part of things, right? That's right. So you got to settle on the best part of your brother and your sister all the time. Let them work on the negative side. Right. You don't have to point it out. They're not pointing out yours. Inshallah. Right. You know what I'm saying? Right. So don't point out theirs. Just point out the good things. Win a friend over, right? He said, he has sent me to bind up the brokenhearted. How many hearts are broken in our community? Just by their family life alone. Wow. I had a brother break down on us yesterday because of the way he grew up in his relationship with his mom. This is deep. And this is all over our community. It don't matter if you're in the hood or you're in the suburbs. It don't matter. If you don't know how to build good relationships with your children and with your family, you're going to have problems. That's just point blank about it. So the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad gave us a book that Malcolm X went to study at Dale Carnegie. What's the book called? How to Win Friends and Influence People. You can't influence nobody if you can't be a friend. And if you can't be a friend, it means you're not spending no time, no concentrated effort with that person to become a friend. You're going to have problems. And they're not going to listen to you even in a time of trouble because they don't trust you. That's just how human nature works, right? Yes, but the Lord is upon you. Right. That's right. So we got to heal the brokenhearted. Proclaim liberty. What is liberty? Freedom. Because we want to be a free people. To the captive and opening up the prisons to those who are bound. Let's look at this. In the Holy Quran, it backs that up. Now, this is for those of us who went to the Friday night study group. This is right out of the Friday night study group. All right? Look, I don't want to make you feel bad, but I want you to get back in the class, man. You know what I'm saying? Get back in the class. We got a lot of young people coming in. We can't just be all out. You understand what I'm saying? We need the guidance and instructions for those who know. I don't know everything. I'm not studying everything. You understand what I'm saying? Yes, but with every lane that I'm in, I'm going to be on it. And with every lane you in, I need you to be on. That's what makes teamwork, makes the dream work. You understand? If we don't have a team, we're not going to win. Because the enemy has a team going against us. 90, 11, and 17 says, and what will make thee comprehend what is the uphill road? The most honorable Elijah Muhammad, he used to sing a song. I found out it was a song this saved his day, Brother Greg. Yes, sir. At the laborers meeting. I didn't know it was a song. I'm just reading it, you know. He said, there was a man climbing a mountain late in the evening. Right. Climbing a mountain 40 miles high. He said, whence will my help come? Did you know that's a Christian song? Yes, sir. That is a song. I'm going to pull it and put it in the chat so we can listen because the minister was singing it to us. Yes, sir. You know, I ain't never heard it. You know, I'm too young to even know about it, but it's a song, bro. And it's real. What will make thee comprehend what is the uphill road? All right? Now, a true Muslim, runs to the uphill road. They don't run away from difficulty. Do you understand? We run to it because we want to conquer it and overcome. That's how we raise another level of consciousness. Right. All right? When we overcome these impediments that we think we can't overcome. All right? It is to free a slave. Now, Harriet Tubman said that she could free more slaves if they knew that they were slaves. So what did our open enemy do to them psychologically? Do to our parents? Psychologically, our grandparents, our great-grandma, that they thought slavery was good and cool. And this is how it is. You understand? It is to free a slave or to feed in the day of hunger. Right? An orphan nearly related, or the poor man lying in the dust. Then he is of those who believe and exhort one another to patience and exhort one another to mercy. Why is patience so important at this part? Come on, man. Huh? Have y'all ever taken in an in-law or a family member that can't do nothing right their whole life? Right. And you really don't want to take them in because you know what you're getting into? Right. But again, that's your kinfolk, so your heart ain't going to feel right if you leave them out in the dust. You understand what I'm saying? You got to have what's called what? Patience, bro. Patience. And patience ain't something that just turns on and off. No, sir. It's something that has to be grown in you over time and over life. Y'all understand what I'm saying? Patience is a learned behavior. You got to overlook all of the bad things in that human being and settle on the best part, which is difficult. It's easy for me to say it, but it's a difficult thing to do. You understand what I'm saying? This is real. But this is the uphill road to free a slave. And how you free a slave, you got to give them knowledge. Because this is what makes them a slave, pretty much. It's the lack of knowledge. That's it. Is that right? Think about it. Right. Then when they get the knowledge, they got to learn how to use the knowledge for the benefit of themselves, right? So mathematics is Islam and Islam is mathematics, right? Yes, sir. You need to use it and do what? Gain some benefit for yourself. See, we got to get back into these books. I'm quoting stuff and it's saying it's foreign to some of y'all. But you know where I'm getting it from. Right. You know what I'm saying? We got to get back in our study, man. Come on now. Look, fam, let me tell you. Now, I'm a part of several different brotherhoods, right? If I don't know my stuff, man, in some of these brotherhoods, you know, they'll snatch my stuff off. Right. You understand what I'm saying? Depending on what brotherhood I'm talking about. Right. So I expect, when they all coming and they coming to help us, and you don't know your stuff, and they in that mentality, they may snatch your bow tie, your headpiece off until you go to the back and study. Right. And they would be justified because you ain't on your game. You understand what I'm saying? And you need to be on your game. Because if you don't have the spirit of Master Farad Muhammad who gave us the lessons, then how can you save our people? Come on, man. Because it starts with your mind. Come on now. Then your actions. Then your patience, so then you'll receive the results, right? Yes, sir. Y'all with me? Yes, sir. Okay. All right. All praises be to Allah. Let's keep going. Now, the next part of the Muslim program that we're going to go over is point number 12, all right? Which you see that even when Brother Rashad opened up, and when I opened up, we gave thanks to a man called Master Farad Muhammad that came 9,000 miles and gave us this knowledge that we are giving y'all today, right? Yes, sir. So it says, we believe that Allah appeared in the person of Master W. Farad Muhammad July 1930, the long-awaited Messiah of the Christians and the Mahdi of the Muslims. We believe further and lastly that Allah is God, and besides him, there is no God. See, he capitalized him, right? And he will bring about a universal government of peace wherein we can live in peace together. All right, let's stop right there.
Yes, sir.
Because I just lost some of the Orthodox Muslims.
Go ahead.
Now, the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan says, according to this, that this is one of the cardinal points of belief in the Nation of Islam, right? That God appeared in the form of a man. Now, for those who are reading their Bible in the Quran, God always has appeared in the form of a man. You understand? If there was a man that taught you about a mystery God, the teachings didn't just fall out of the sky about that heaven is somewhere up in the sky and Jesus spoke. It was a man that taught you that.
Come on now.
Not a spook.
Go ahead.
And it's going to be a man that comes to save us, right?
Go ahead.
So let's look at this. Let's look at this July 1930, because these are prophecies that we got to look at, right?
Yes, sir.
And he's hitting them up in this point number 12, letting them know where to go look at these prophecies about the Messiah and the Mahdi, the self-guided one, right? The Messiah is the world traveler, right?
That's right.
Let's look at this. So let's look at Ezekiel 1:1. All right? Now, it comes to pass in the 30th year, in the 4th month, in the 5th day. Look how they looking. We're going to go with this one. I'm going to show you something. Of the month. As I was among the captives by the river of Chandar, with the heaven, that the heavens were open, and I saw visions of God. All right? This is the prophecy, because Ezekiel's seen a whole lot if you read the whole book of Ezekiel, right? The book of Ezekiel is so important that the eternal leader put it in the Muhammad Speaks. Several weeks going over Ezekiel in the wheel, the entire chapter, right?
Right.
Who's the eternal leader of the Nation of Islam? The Honorable Elijah Muhammad. All right. Now let's look at this. The Hebrew calendar.
Okay.
The 4th month, right? Where does it say the 4th month is right there? July. All right. Now, when does our fiscal year start? No. April. And then it ends when? March. That's the Hebrew calendar. You didn't know that, did you? We all the way lined up. This is what I'm talking about. We got to get into our study. Because you're giving signs and symbols to people who will recognize them, but when they see you can't explain it, they don't follow you. They're not going to tell you I don't understand. They looking. The number appears in the Bible. Jerusalem taken to Nebuchadnezzar. The minister lifted up Nebuchadnezzar this past Savior's Day, right? Yes, it says in Jeremiah 39:2. I'm just going to read some other 2 chapters that talk about the same month that God was supposed to appear over here. Right. In the 11th year, Zedekiah, in the 4th month, the 9th day of the month. In Jeremiah 52:6-7, it says, in the 4th month, in the 9th day of the month, the famine was sore in the city, so that there was no bread for the people in the land. Then the city was broken up, and all the men of war fled, and went forth out of the city by night by the way of the gate between the 2 walls, which was the king's garden. And they went by the way of the plain. So if we look at over here, July is the 4th month. Master Farad Muhammad did what? He showed up when? July 4th. Right. So it said in the 4th month, God is coming. Right. It said the 5th day. The 5th day in the east is what over here? The 4th day. We a day behind.
That's right.
You understand?
Yes, sir.
Of the month. And I was what? He said he was among the what? The captives. Who was Master Farad Muhammad among? The captives.
Come on, right. Go ahead. Yes, sir.
You got to tie it together, right? He said the heavens were open and I saw visions of who?
God.
Of God. Y'all okay?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right, let's look at this. I went too far. Okay. Our brother, Minister Jabril Muhammad, wrote on July 20th, 2021 in the Final Call newspaper entitled Prophecies in the Bible, Prophecies in Ezekiel, and the Teachings about the Wheel. The following, Brother Jabril wrote, the Bible has something to say of this plane appearing in the sky on the 4th of July in the 30th year. Ezekiel opens with a prophecy of this terrifying plane. In Ezekiel verse 1, we read, now it comes to pass in the 30th year, the 4th month, and the 5th day of the month, as I was among the captives by the river of Shabar, that the heavens were opened and I saw visions of God. The Messiah taught that these words refer to the events of the 4th in July 1930. The 5th day in the east, where this was written, is the 4th day here in the west. Ezekiel was a type of, at least, a man and a servant of this today. He foresaw them among the captives who were a sign of black people here in America. The open enemy has always known that God was going to come to relieve us. You understand?
Yes, sir.
They just didn't know when and how he was going to come.
Right.
So we are taught in our supreme wisdom, right?
Yes,
to line these prophecies up and prove everything that we are taught.
That's right.
Is that right? That's what we're doing today. You got to be able to prove this. So when we say that Allah appeared in the person of Master Farad Muhammad, it was predicted in the same Bible that they read.
Right. Come on now.
Right?
Come on. Go ahead.
All right, let's keep going. On December 14, 1957, the most honorable Elijah Muhammad wrote the following of the great Mahdi. Allah, to whom praises is due forever, came in the person of Master W.F. Muhammad, the great Mahdi expected by the Muslims and the Antichrist, the devils, under the names Jesus Christ, Messiah, God, Lord, Jehovah, the last Jehovah, and the Christ. These meanings are good and befitting as titles, but the meaning of his name Mahdi, as mentioned in the Holy Quran Sharif 22:54, is better. Anybody know what Mahdi means? The self-guided one, right? God. Only God is self-guided. Farad Muhammad, his name, Farad Muhammad, is beautiful in its meaning. He must bring an end to war. And the only way to end war between man and man is to destroy the war maker, the troublemaker. According to the history of the white race, devils, they are guilty of making trouble, causing war among the people and themselves ever since they have been on our planet Earth. So the God of righteous has found them disagreeable to live with in peace and has decided to remove them from the face of the earth. God does not have to tell us that they are disagreeable to live with in peace. We already know it. We are the victims of these troublemakers. Y'all all right?
Yes, sir.
He goes on. Allah will fight this war for the sake of his people, and especially for the American so-called Negroes. As I have said time and again, we, the so-called American Negroes, will be the lucky ones. We are Allah's choice to give life, and we will be put on top of civilization. Read your poison book. What's the poison book? Why does he call it the poison book? Right, because it's mixed with truth and falsehood, right? It's been digital. It tells you in the beginning of it. It has been diligently. Sometimes I have trouble with words, y'all. So y'all got to help me sometimes, all right? Right. Diligently revised, right? Is that right? By whose orders? King James orders, right? Right. So it's called the poison book. Now the Holy Quran is still written in first person, so it's giving you instruction. You understand? That's what makes the Quran different than the Bible. The Bible's written in third person, so it's giving you stories and stuff. You know what I'm saying? But first person, he's just like me talking to my son, or you talking to your child. You talking in first person, right? All right. Now it has come to pass in the 30th year. Oh, I skipped a line. Hold on. What does the book say concerning the preparation of God against evil. Take a look at Ezekiel's vision in 595 BC. Now it comes to pass in the 30th year, in the 4th month, in the 5th day of the month, as I was among the captives by the river of Shabar, that the heavens were open, and I saw visions of God. Now as I beheld the living creatures, behold, one wheel upon the earth by the living creatures with his 4 faces. As for their ring, they were so high that they were dreadful, and their ring was full of eyes around about with 4. That's chapters 1, 2, 15, and 18. It was on the 4th of July, 1930, when the great Mahdi, Allah in person, made his appearance among us. So there is no doubt that we are expecting a visitation from a supreme being. No doubt. All right. Now that we are of age, we can read and write and we can comprehend what we read. All right. So we got to start thinking outside the box and get outside the box of our open enemy, what he has put us in, that keeps us in this rat race, fighting against each other because of a lack of knowledge. All right. So it's clear, July 4th, 1930, a God is coming. It didn't say what city, didn't say what town, but the great Mahdi is coming. Expect a visitation. And isn't it ironic that he found a Georgia-born black man by the name of Elijah Poole, the son of a preacher? Isn't it ironic that it's Elijah who has to turn the heads of the children back to the Father, as it teaches in Malachi? Isn't it ironic that it's Elijah that the Jews keep a chair open for?
Right. Come on, man.
Plain, right?
That's right.
Elijah. So in Surah 16, 102 to 103, it says, the Holy Spirit has revealed it from thy Lord with truth, that it may establish those who believe, and as a guidance and good news for those who submit. And indeed, we know that they say only a mortal teaches him. The tongue of him whom they hint at is foreign. And this is clear Arabic language. Who is this mortal?
Go ahead, Don.
Who is this him that he's teaching? But what was the first thing that he said? He says what? Allah says in the Quran. He says that the Holy Spirit has revealed it from thy Lord with truth, that it may establish those who believe. You can say you're a believer, but that requires action. You know what I'm saying? That's just saying you believe. That's just a word, man. You know what I'm saying? And as a guidance and good news for those who submit. Now, to submit is sacrifice.
Yes, it is.
You understand? Believe. Then you're a good guy, which means you're a good example for those watching you. Then you're always settling on the best parts, and you're going to give good news for those who submit, who are struggling.
Yes, sir.
To keep them up. You understand? Everybody wants to hear a good word every now and then. That's why we got to settle on the best part all the time. All right? Because we're always hearing about what we can't do. Especially us.
Yes, sir.
Right? Because they want to keep us in this box.
Right.
All right. The tongue of him whom they hint at is foreign. Master Farad Muhammad gave the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad a Quran written in Arabic. Then he took it back because he couldn't read Arabic and gave him this version of the Quran. And he said it was very near correct.
Go ahead.
All right? This is 90-some years ago.
Right.
You understand? 90 years later, we should know something about Arabic. Us.
Go ahead.
Since we so smart and, you know.
Right.
We should at least know the words. You know what I'm saying? Something. The alphabet.
Right.
Know something. Arabic's very easy to learn. It's not like English. It's not built off of 3 different languages.
Come on now.
You know what I'm saying? Arabic is it's the original.
Right.
The vowels are the marks, the consonants are the lines.
Right. Go ahead.
Very simple. And then when you know the sounds, the phonetics of it is just how it says.
Right.
It ain't gonna trick you up as PH means F and it sounds like this. And it ain't nothing like that.
Right. Go ahead.
Because God is not the author of confusion.
That's right, brother. Go ahead.
Y'all with me?
Go ahead.
All right.
Teach.
So this is clear Arabic language. Right? Y'all with me? All right. Now let's look at this one. Because we're still dealing with point number 12, right? We're going to end on point number 12. We almost there, family. God came. This is Habakkuk 3, and 7. Again, we coming out a message to the black man. Ain't nothing on here that you can't find a message to the black man, all right?
That's right.
All right. God came from T-Man and the Holy One from Mount Paran. Now, how God going to come from T-Man and the Holy One from Mount Paran? How you going to do that if he's some spook God? Because these are positions on the earth.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? When they say drop your pen, drop your pen.
Right.
Google it on Google Earth and drop a pen on T-Man and Mount Paran.
Right.
And then you're going to see where the Holy One came from that visited us in 1930.
Right.
All right? We got to keep it real. 100. All right? His glory covered the heavens. What do we say heavens mean? The sky. That's all. It's just sky. All right? Don't think it's somewhere where Ronald Reagan's at the gate like they show in Boondocks.
Right.
All right? His glory covers the heavens, and the earth was full of his praise. And his brightness was as the light. He had horns coming out of his hands, and there was the hiding of his power. Before him went the pestilence, and the burning coals went forth at his feet. He stood and measured the earth. That's right. 196,940,000 square miles. Right? This is something you got to know when you come into the nation. You got to measure the earth. This is what he gave us. He beheld and drove asunder the nations, and the everlasting mountains were scattered. The perpetual hills did bow. His ways are everlasting. I saw the tents of Cushan in affliction, and the curtains of the land of Midian did tremble. This is the coming of God to the west to see us, to visit us. He had to hide his power so he can teach. He had to come like a thief in the night. Is that right? He couldn't just show up and bam, bam. See, we get this picture of Zeus coming out of the sky with lightning bolts, man. Hey, God got to operate on a whole nother level because he got to get rid of a real devil. You understand what I'm saying? And these devils ain't all white. Don't get it confused. At this point in time, it's a mindset. And if you acting like a devil, you a devil. I don't care what color you are. Don't come to me with that, you know. Because there are some white boys who are good Muslims.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Look how y'all looking at me.
Yes, sir.
Am I the only one that live on planet Earth? You can't be that narrow-minded, bruh. All right. That's right. So he hid his powers, right? So Masfarad comes in. He starts the Nation of Islam. He starts a business, got a printing press. You understand what I'm saying? He's at a hotel down the street. He finds a place to meet. So by the time Elijah shows up, right, he's already got the nation going. Right? His minister is Abdul Muhammad, and his secretary is who? Ali. Ugan Ali. Y'all understand?
Yes, sir.
So he's teaching, looking for one. Boom, 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 boom. Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad get convinced to go. He shows up. They stand up, do the same thing we're going to do today. He walks down the aisle. He whispers in his ear. That's when he knew he had him. You understand what I'm saying?
That's right.
Now, I don't want you to get spooky on me. That all of a sudden this thought. The Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad was trained how to look at a person who has light.
Come on now.
You got to know something about his life.
Go ahead. Teach now.
You understand? Men of that day were part of different organizations.
That's right.
So they already faced the east.
Right.
Looking for the one that's coming on the step.
Come on.
You understand? If you don't know what I'm talking about, you ain't in.
Right. Good teaching.
But he knew.
Right.
So he could line it up when he saw it. Don't get spooky. This is real.
Yes, sir.
So when he recognized it, he whispered in his ear, you the one that's coming, man. You the God that we've been looking for. He told him, shh, pipe down, man. Don't be telling nobody who I am. You ain't even supposed to know. You know what I'm saying? Go over there, I'll talk to you later, partner. Modern day translation.
Got you, brother.
Yeah, yes, sir. So then he kept taking the acceptance, and then he started teaching him exclusively for 3.5 years because that was the one he had been looking for.
That's right.
So, of course, jealousy and envy rises up among the so-called Negroes. All right?
Go ahead.
The enemy recognizes this and starts saying that, oh man, you know, they with them Japanese over there. They used, I think his name was Sasaki or something like that. That was walking around trying to recruit black people for the movement of Japan back then. And so they tried to tie him in from the beginning. All right? I'm telling you, this is how it was going down. They gathered all the black preachers up in Detroit, Michigan, and they put an article in the paper denouncing this voodoo religion that they call Islam. This is the beginning stages of the Nation of Islam. We ain't never had a time where we didn't have to overcome difficulty. You understand? So we became Muslims day one. The uphill road, it's a fight every day. You understand? Okay. All praise is due to Allah. All praise is due to Allah. So he was hiding his power. All right? So he wouldn't let them know who he was. They raided the mosque. How'd they get in the mosque? Because some Negro gave somebody the password. Right. Now you got to ask yourself again. Majority of the men were part of an order that joined Islam. So they had passwords. They call him a tiller outside the door.
Right.
We say it's a dude on check post today.
Right.
You understand? But they would call him a tiller. You know what I'm talking about? You know what I'm talking about?
Yes, sir.
You know what I'm saying? So they gave him a password. Police came in, raided the mosque. They had to go to court. They said it was delinquency of a minor because they had so many people in there under. I only know what the age was back then. I ain't looked at it with the rule because you know they change it everywhere.
Yes, sir.
And so the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad, they took Master Farad Muhammad to jail. They put him in a crazy house. He was in there teaching Islam. Then he came out. I'm just giving you the short. He came out sane. They didn't say he was crazy, but they was locking him up, right? Now, the white people that had light back then, they knew exactly what they was looking at. They knew exactly what they was looking at for sure. The ones that didn't, don't know. The blacks of us who had light knew what they was looking at. The ones who didn't know. So the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad rallies the troops. And I think the number was like 500 believers.
Yes, sir.
Marched down on the jail
Right.
to get Master Farad Muhammad. I want you to think about this, man. 1931, 32.
That's it.
Come on, now.
In Detroit, Michigan.
That's
That's
right.
it.
A lot of brothers coming up there from the South.
That's right.
These crackers in the Midwest and in the North they ain't like the ones in the South. I was born in Kansas City, I can tell you. I know. It's a different lingo.
Yes, sir.
Same thought process though.
That's
Right? A little bit more aggressive.
Yeah.
This one down here done got smooth a little bit. That's right. So they go get him out of jail. Then the Most Honorable Elijah, I want you to think about this. Then he ain't even done teaching Elijah yet. He got to go be the attorney for all the people. The Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad. Going to talk to the judge to release the children.
Right.
Man, this man been through some stuff, man, for us.
Go ahead now.
Y'all all right?
Yes, sir. Teach.
Before him went pestilence and the burning coals went forth at his feet. I think the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad said this is war, right? He talking about war, right? All this is a message to the black man. I'm not interpreting this myself. This is what he say. A message to the black man. This is what I believe. I believe in what he say.
That's right.
You understand?
Go ahead.
You understand? Yes, sir. So let's look at it. We're gonna close this out here in a minute. Now remember, y'all gonna have a test. Look, you're like, oh man. For y'all who knew, you gonna see your answers too. In the book of Genesis, 18:21. Now remember, we're still dealing with point number 12 in the back of this newspaper, all right?
Right. That's right.
I will go now and see whether they have done altogether according to the outcry against it that has come to me. And if not, I will know. Who is the I? God in the person. If he's going to go somewhere, where is he coming from? Mount Paran, the Holy One from T-Man. All right, y'all with me, right? Now he got to go see if the word that got to him, because y'all thinking he's somewhere just spaced out. Somebody brought him something. He said, because he got to go verify the word.
Go ahead.
No, I know y'all. He like Superman. He up there just listening to all the cities.
Come on now.
Start getting spooky on me, man. Come on. He got a big S on his chest with wings on his ankles. So he got to come check it out, right? No, but what did he tell our brother Abraham in the 15th chapter, which is one of the main prophets? He said, then he said unto Abram, know certainly that your descendants will be a stranger in a land that is not theirs, and will serve them, and they will afflict them for 400 years. And also that nation whom they shall serve will I judge, and afterwards they shall come out with great possession. Some say peace, all right? Just the translation. There's only been one group of people who have been subjugated to any type of human indignity for over 400 years, and that has been us. There ain't nobody else. Ain't nobody else. All right? God said he was going to come to that people, right?
That's right.
He said they'll be in a land with strangers.
Right.
The European was a stranger to us. He always has been since he came out of the cave. Even when Moses was trying to civilize them.
Right.
You understand?
Right.
Because it was Moses' job to civilize the caveman.
Yeah.
There's a book that you can read called The History of Mankind by Willem Van Loon. It's a blue book.
Right.
Go to any library and just read page 17. And they'll tell you for themselves who came to civilize them.
Right.
All right? This is history.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
All right? When they showed up and they changed our name, we couldn't even understand what they were saying.
Come on now. Come on.
You understand?
Right. Right.
And so they turned us into slaves, right? They put us in chains, hoodwinked us, and Cable told us and brought us west. Right? And we've been here ever since. Didn't nobody come for us.
No, sir.
Even the strongest African king was not allowed to come see us. The only one people that can come see us is the other enemies, open enemies of us who are in the same type of business.
Right.
Exactly.
Right.
Because don't forget, this was a business.
Right.
Just like anything else.
That's right.
Except it was human commodity.
Go ahead and teach.
You understand? So they would have meetings.
Right. Right.
All right?
Right.
And discuss how they're going to run their plantation and increase profits.
Right. Right.
All right?
Right.
And increase livestock.
Right. Exactly.
You understand? How are we going to breed them?
Right.
Which ones are which ones? Come on, man. God is the only one that came
Come on now.
in the person of Master Farad Muhammad, the great Mahdi, right?
Go ahead.
So there is no mystery. Y'all all right?
Yes, sir.
I'm going to read it again. We believe that Allah appeared in the person of Master Farad Muhammad, the great Mahdi. July 1940, long-awaited Messiah of the Christians and the Mahdi of the Muslims. We believe further and lastly that Allah is God. Why did he put that part in there is what you got to think about. This is going to break up all the confusion.
Right.
It's all here.
Right. Right.
Twist.
Right.
And besides him, there is no God. And he will bring about a universal government. So at some point, it ain't just us. It starts with us.
Right. Right. Right.
So if you listen to the language of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, he's telling you we are in this universal part now.
That's right. That's right.
He's showing us and guiding us how to deal with it. All right? A lot of us that come into the nation are who you be considered sophisticated. They got a little education. They done been around more than just Negroes all their life. So they know how to deal with different cultures.
Right. Right.
So you can't just subjugate them that come in here to us.
Right. Go ahead.
Because they may, hey, bro, I brought a person in here from Saudi. And he registered.
Right. Right.
So what that tell you about me?
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Who do I know?
Come on.
You understand what I'm saying?
Right. Right.
A universal government of peace wherein we can live in peace together. All right. So I hope that y'all learned something today.
Yes, sir.
I hope that I didn't go too fast, too slow, just at the right pace. You know, so I'll end like this. That no one else is coming to save us but us at this point in time.
Go ahead. Good teaching.
You understand?
That's good teaching.
We have to figure out as a people how to get over our shortcomings, dig deep into ourselves and find what we are good at,
Go ahead. Teach.
and don't look at nobody else's gift.
Stay in your lane. Stay in your
Go
lane.
ahead.
You understand?
You're driving your own lane, brother. That's right.
Know your own value.
figure out, I mean, we know how to be a team because we love playing sports. I'm an athlete. Ex-athlete. Yeah, athlete. We got athletes on this side too. So you know how to be a team player if you put in the right environment. You know what I'm saying? And then out of that team, somebody's going to stand up and be the captain of the team. You understand? It just happens naturally. You ain't even got to pick them. It just happens naturally, right? This is what we got to get over so we can become winners. Because the most honorable life, Muhammad said, no matter what, I don't care if you believe he alive or he is. He said he going to be the winner, living or dead.
That's right.
So that part of the game, it don't even matter to me. It's the brotherhood and the sisterhood. And how do we work as a team?
Come on now.
And become team players.
Come on.
And put tangible goals that we can reach. You understand what I'm saying? Not something just because I got a good idea.
Right.
You know, Negroes ain't short of ideas. We short of workers.
Right.
Unrealistic.
Visionaries.
That's right.
You understand what I'm saying? And knowing how to step into that vision. If we can overcome some of these impediments, let me tell you, man, we are the mother mosque of the region. This is Mother Mosque, Muhammad Mosque 48. You understand? We gave birth. All praise is due to Allah. We gave birth to what you call the Southwest region.
That's right.
So expect the enemy to be on us.
Right.
The Quran says that an enemy is made for you in every town, Muhammad.
Every time.
So what we have been through since then and today is to prepare us so we can grow and go forward at a tremendous speed that they can't even catch us. All right? So I pray that we can do that. I pray that we can come together. We coming together. I don't want you to think that we not together. You know? For those who understand what I'm saying. But there's always room for improvement. And we moving in the right direction like this. When you look at that line graph, it's going up.
Right.
Like that, right?
Right.
So today we have a meeting of all the FOI today. I'm excited about this from the old and from the past and from the new, right? Because we got to close this gap amongst us first. You understand what I'm saying? Because it's too much talent that has come through this mosque that's been underutilized.
That's right.
Well, now is the time that we utilize that talent. I don't care how old you are. I don't care what you can and can't do.
Right.
We need to utilize what you know so we can move forward and we can get moving. You understand? Because you don't want this. Life is too short for you to be hoarding your talent. And you came to the nation. You took all that time reciting. You took all that time trying to memorize this stuff. And then somebody get in here and you get in your feelings and you leave. We got to get past all that, man. You know what I'm saying? This is a new day. You understand? When the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan blessed me and wanted me to lead the pack here in Dallas, he told me to go back and win our friends, man.
Right.
Go back and win our friends and find some money, a job that the FOI can do.
Yes, sir.
Got to be independent.
Right.
And that's been my marching order since 2016.
Come on now.
Is to try to figure this out. But I can't do it by myself.
That's right, brother.
That's one thing I do know.
Right.
For sure. And I don't want to do it by myself.
That's right.
Because if I do it by myself, how you going to appreciate it? If you do everything for your son, he going to be spoiled and he going to always be begging. He ain't going to do nothing for you.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You got to raise him up, man. You got to raise him up. From a horizontal level to a living perpendicular. You got to raise them up. And from that 180 coming up is degrees.
Right.
It's degrees. It's levels you got to get to before you get to that 90. You understand? So
Right.
I leave you as I came before you in the greeting words of peace and paradise of Assalamu alaikum. All praises due to Allah. All praises due to Allah. So I only have a couple questions to ask. How many of you are here for yourself? It's the first time you visited Muhammad Mosque. Raise your hand. How many we got? All praise be to Allah. Thanks for getting us today. Now, if you believe what you heard is good and true for our people, please raise your hand. I surrender too. All praise due to Allah. Now, if you are ready to join the classroom of God, because God set these classrooms up,
Go ahead.
and the way that it's formatted is his format, not my format. This is what everyone goes through. So if you're ready to learn more about yourself, accepting your own and being yourself is a big step. That is a big step. Learning about yourself takes patience, man. Learning to overcome your own impediments and keeping your passions in due bounds, it takes a lot of effort, bruh. You know what I'm saying? This is not something, but you got brothers, you got sisters that can help you through the process. You know what I'm saying? You never alone in this. I don't want you to ever think that you alone. It don't mean you gotta wait until you totally clean up either, because we hear that all the time. That's your excuse to go hit that, right, to go, you know what I'm saying? Wait till I get right. You already right. Right. Ain't that right? This is the shower or the washing machine or the car wash. This is it. Just get on the conveyor belt and let the water hit you and the brushes brush you, bruh. That's all we asking you to do. And then when you come out, show us your ticket. So we know if we need to wipe you down a little bit more and shine your wheels up. You understand what I'm saying? If you're ready for that, then I would ask that you come down and I shake your hand on behalf of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan and welcome you home to the Nation of Islam. Do you have anyone today? Come on. Oh, praise God.